Bom dia a todas e a
Good morning to all. Welcome to B3 area. And I would like to start our Investors Week to thanking João Pedro Nascimento for his attendance, our B3 president, coordinating this event and representing the Stock Exchange Commission, Ms. Christina Rose, and also a veteran here, Morgan Doyle, representative or Inter-American Development Bank here in Brazil. This will be a hybrid event broadcasted live through the internet and will provided with simultaneous interpretation. And it is a pleasure to us to open this Investors Week, an event that is coordinated globally among the major stock exchanges in the world. We were, in the past few years, a change in the market capital, and nothing was more provocative or transforming than the arrival of new retail investors at Brazil Stock Exchange. And to mention a few numbers, back in 2018, after many years with an effort grown from 560 to 650 retail investors, today we're more than 4.5 million retail investors. And what happened? So this number grew so much, more than six-fold, from the almost 500, 600 to 4.5 million. Surely it was more than wind on our back. We had surely a change in the relation between Brazilian investors and their finances, and more people decide to go besides the products they were used to and to learn how to diversify, to get a more diversified basket of investments. The capital market had a very important role to be more accessible to all investors in terms of product development, content creation, access, technology, of course. B3's president Wu mentioned this as one of the pillars of his management, reduced costs. So everything was in favor, everyone was working towards this result. So it's very impressive that we achieved this number. But we still have a lot to achieve, and we're following much of the media, investing in finance education, developing concepts, and focusing on the retail investors' journey. And it was important that influencers, the importance of good influencers talking about finances, financial planning, which simplify the language and the verbiage and make it easier for these retail investors to join in. Here at B3, it wasn't different than this. We had a very important education group, and we transformed back in 2020 what was a physical investment school into a financial education hub, diversifying our content, creating free courses, generating more than 1.6 million accesses. We also released a new initiative. We had B3 Bora Investir, which is a news and educational content website aimed to retail investors, focusing on bringing more information, quick information for the retail investors. We also have worked a lot in developing the new investors area where they can follow up their investment portfolio, with, just like an intermediary, with the objective and the friendly design on applied to it. Another effort was that we have already mentioned, but it was worth to say it again, is increasing the demand of the brokers and banks in diversifying and creating new products to bring more businesses in, businesses that were only available for private investors or qualified investors. An example is BDR that we have worked in the past 2 years. And so this is the context that brings us here today, a growing interest of Brazilians wanting to invest, and also the market agents, B3, brokers, banks, fintechs, companies, associations, consultancy offices. And so it is very nice that we're able to bring everyone together for this World Investors Week that is happening globally in the most important markets in the world, and this is even more relevant to the world today. We'll have following this week, we have more than 1,000 initiatives, broadcasts, webinars, panels, interviews. Until next Sunday, participants will have lots of contacts, relevant contacts, I must say, and we will finish this week better investors than we're starting. And so we start this event. I wish you all a great week, a very productive one, and that we are able to build more interest in market. Thank you very much. Following, we invite to the stage CVM's president, Mr. João Nascimento, for his speech. Please, Mr. João. Good morning to all. First of all, I'd like to offer my public thank you to B3, and this event was embraced by CVM, this initiative that is so important, and we're only capable of doing this because of the tireless effort of our staff, building an interesting event for financial education, adapting and evolution of our markets. So I thank all the supporters, especially B3, who's hosting this event, President Gilson. And I wanted to say that in 2022, we're working to build a CVM that will complete 50, that will be 50-year-old in 2026. And so we want to cherish and to value the 3 pillars that we're focusing. Financing, so to rethink financing model, people, everything is people. We need a bigger staff, we need the best people, so we want, I take the opportunity to say that we need a public call for staff, and we're preparing to be a more technological entity, and based in these 3 pillars, we're building CVM that will complete 50 years in 2026, and we're starting to build future now, CVM 5.0, and I believe that we're on the right path. We're talking about market modernization, a market that is evolving more and more, a market that has a capillarity ever growing, that reaches all corners of Brazil, has a multitude of retail investors. And so the Investors Week is important to emphasize the financial education side, the importance of that investments are done rationally, with basis, with responsible analysis and studying documents. We have worked a lot in enhancing discussions with the public entities so they can speak the retail investors' language. We build a stronger and more solid market. President Gilson has mentioned a few initiatives. I wanted to talk on the open capital markets. He mentioned the portability of investment funds, the possibility of transfer custody. In our side with CVM, we're looking very closely to open capital market. We believe that this democratization tool, a capital market that is ours, that is more democratic, that is more inclusive, that has more friction with the public. We're working to build a green and digital future that is socially responsible and with governance rules that are adapted to the language of the new times. And so I'd like to thank everyone for your attendance, and I declare open Investors Week. And I wanted to say that for CVM and Brazil, we're very proud to be part of this initiative. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President João Pedro Nascimento. And I wanted to invite to the stage Ms. Cristina Roll, Executive Director of Securities Commission of Bahamas and Vice Chair of the IOSCO Inter-American Regional Committee, for her online speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gilson. Mr. João Pedro Nascimento, Chairman Comissão de Valores Mobiliários Brazil, Morgan Doyle, Country Representative, Inter-American Development Bank, Gilson Filkelstein, President B3, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to join you for this official kickoff event for World Investor Week 2022 for the Americas region. I say thanks to the Stock and Derivative Exchange of Brazil and to our colleague capital markets regulator, CVM Brazil, for inviting me to join you. CVM Brazil and other organizations such as the Brazilian Financial and Capital Markets Association are regional powerhouses in investor education and have demonstrated exceptional leadership and capacity in this area. I wish I could be with you in person in beautiful Sao Paulo for this bell ringing. Instead, I join you virtually and bring sunny greetings from the Bahamas, and in particular from the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. This morning, I am here in my capacity as the Vice Chair of the Inter-American Regional Committee of IOSCO. IARC is one of 4 IOSCO regional committees consisting of 27 member regulators from countries stretching from Canada in the north to Chile in the south, and 5 associate members. In all, members and associate members represent some 33 countries across the hemisphere. This morning, we gathered to launch IOSCO's 6th annual World Investor Week. Securities and capital markets regulators across the region, in fact, across the world, are marking the event with a week-long celebration that securities regulators do in the areas of investor education and investor protection. Today, October 3rd, marks the official launch of the global campaign, though regulators may choose a different week this month or next to join the celebrations. World Investor Week 2022 comes as jurisdictions around the world find themselves at various stages of recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced us to embrace remote modes of communication to engage with our investor education audiences and regulatory addressees. It comes as climate change and climate-related events have emphasized the importance of both investor resilience and sustainable finance, and the important role investor education plays in both. It also comes as an increasing amount of financial regulators grapple with how or if they will regulate crypto assets and what they want to tell investors about the risk and opportunities they carry. These new unfolding conditions occur as we must still address the long-standing challenges of investment frauds and scams, only now with fraudsters dressing up their old scams in new clothes, using the novelty of cryptocurrencies, for example, to abuse investors. I take this moment to commend IOSCO and its Committee on Retail Investors, Committee 8, and the World Investor Week Working Group, responsible for coordinating World Investor Week, for their understanding of this moment in the rollout of the 2022 World Investor Week campaign. This year's campaign, of course, is being launched with investor resilience and sustainable finance as its themes. This builds on previous campaigns' emphasis on prevention of fraud and scams in crypto assets. In the Bahamas, we are pleased to join IOSCO for this 6th annual campaign with a number of events planned ourselves. I'm pleased to say that the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Davis, recognizing the global celebration of World Investor Week and the importance of investor education and financial literacy, has declared October Investor Education Month in the Bahamas. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, our hosts in Brazil and securities and capital markets regulators across the region. On behalf of IARC, I wish each and every one of you a very successful World Investor Week campaign. Collectively, we have a vital role to play in helping the peoples of our region to understand how to be smart investors and the importance of investor resilience and sustainable finance. Good morning once again, and thank you for listening in.
Muito obrigado, a senhora Cristina.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cristina Rose, Executive Director of SEC Bahamas and Vice Chair for Inter-American Capital Commission. And now I would like to invite to the stage Mr. Morgan Doyle, representative of Inter-American Development Bank, for his online speech, please.
Todos e todas. Grande prazer estar
Good
aqui.
morning to all. It is a great pleasure to be here today. I would like to start my speech to congratulate and long partners, Gilson Finkes and João Pedro Nascimento, and Cristina Rollet, Vice Chair for BASCO Americas. And again, it is very interesting to talk about this team. Also, hello to the retail investors and everyone attending this event with such an interesting activities. But our focus at IDB is in development, and we're focusing on the most sustainable and we're concerned about these initiatives in the center of investors demonstrated here in this event. We're very happy to see this, and we're very happy to mobilize more resources to climate and green initiatives, as well as aligning our portfolio to the core of the country, processes that need to be complemented by you in the capital market resources. With resources, we help our partners in achieving capital, either our public partners or others, and we're reinforcing our initiatives to take advantage of the financial products, innovative products that we'll be talking. So team titles, green blends, blend finance, and green debentures, always following the logic that in the structure that 1 + 1 could be more than 2, and so contributing with aligning growth with fighting the climate change, as well as preserving the And this concept has grown more and more importance in the world. And with a push, we can get more doing in practice. And we're with CVMs, with IDP and the German corporation to have OLAB. This is a forum to promote debates in the out of our borders to develop in green to talk about green development. Like green debentures, they were born in a way pushed at OLAB. And we're thrilled to have very important cases like hydro green market. These are great opportunities for Brazil. The Ministry of Economy talks about up to $100 billion by 2030. And we're saying that Brazil is one of the most competitive countries in the world. And this goes beyond. A report released last week shows that here in Brazil, 78% of consumers or financial entities, that the financial entities are more sustainable. So this is very at the center. And so I thank once again this week that is putting green in the center of the discussions, bringing the demands in a very fruitful journey. A practical example of this that we're developing, the development of Amazon that we're discussing. BASA, the Amazon Bank with the IDB to offer funding for innovative initiatives, focusing on cooperation and social development. And we'll be providing more information about this initiative during the week. And please follow the events. Our schedule has sessions organized by OLAB and IDB, like carbon-free and hydrogen, focusing on green infrastructure, and the infra panel, it's an online. We have finance opportunities in infrastructure that will happen today at 2 p.m. Please join in and join the rest of the initiatives. Again, we're prepared to support Brazil, your businesses, and investors interested in the huge green potential of this country. I thank the partnership of all, and we're available to collaborate more and more. Thank you very much. A good week. And I return the mic to you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan Boyle, and take the opportunity to call this invitation because it will be worth. And so to open this event, and I wanted to call Mr. João Pedro Nascimento, and I wanted to call virtually Ms. Cristina Roll, as well as Mr. Morgan Doyle. They will show on the screen here. Without missing to congratulate the whole CVM and B3 teams for this huge effort in putting this week to here today. And we're sure we're completing our role here. Thank you. Yeah, make your words mine. And I want to thank everybody, but especially our supporters, that this is an opportunity to cherish Brazil to the world. Will they show on the screen, please? Yeah? Okay, yeah, there they are. Okay, so prepared. We'll have a countdown to celebrate the opening of Investors World Week. Our global event starts today, October 3rd. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Muito obrigado, pessoal. Boa semana a todos.
Thank you very much. I wish you all a good week. Thank you.